Welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right. Okay, let's bust out of here. And let's see. We have no unpleasant trees about. Well, there's an unpleasant tree over there, but it's burning. Okay. Close this up. And let's see. I want to offload some junk. Let's see. I only think one stack of gravel will be enough. I don't need all that extra dirt and cobble. Yeah, that's better. I should get some more wool and some logs along the way. All right. And west is that away. And so we proceed onwards to the FarLands. And as a matter of fact, grab some of that wool. Thank you. Alrighty. Where's your buddies? You guys always spawn in groups of 4. Where's the other 3? Huh. Okay. I guess they are AWOL or something. Anyway, here we are. This is the morning of the 429th Minecraft day since leaving spawn, and the 141st episode as we progress onwards to the FarLands, raising money for Child's Play charity along the way, and generally talking and yapping about all sorts of things and enjoying the often crazy and crazier terrain generation here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Classic, if ever there was one. Yes, okay, well, progressing onwards here with the usual routine. The size of the world this morning is 5,172.56 megabytes. And we're moving on. And, well, let's see. What's going on in the world? Well, what else is going on in the world that people would talk about these days is, obviously, it is the recent changes that YouTube has made to the partner program in response to certain bad actors and certain things that certain video makers and whatnot have done that were excessively and incredibly awesomely stupid. Names need not be mentioned here because I think everybody has heard these names 500 million times in the last couple of weeks anyway, so there you go. Anyway, in response to all that, YouTube has tightened up their requirements for being part of the YouTube Partner Program. Let's see, how am I doing here? Oh, okay. How about I just start focusing on wood? I got enough wood. Yeah. And I've already seen hundreds of comments across YouTube and on Twitter and elsewhere and whatnot about people. Basically, it's just lots and lots of people screaming, YouTube is trying to kill the small channel. Actually, that's not true. They're not trying to kill the small channel. They are trying to save their revenue. Now, granted, the efforts to save their revenue is having negative effect on some small channels, but destroying small channels is not the objective. There are some small channels that will have to deal with some negative effects. There is a lot of them that are losing the ability to monetize videos, and you know, I understand this. I understand it very much because I'm one of them. You know, this channel, my vlog channel, became a YouTube partner on December the 2nd, I believe it was, or the 10th, one of those two, of 2010. In December 2010 is when this channel became a YouTube partner. And that was cool. But according to the new requirements, in order to be able to monetize videos now, one must have at least 1,000 subscribers. That part I don't have a problem with, because this channel has, like, I believe it's in the neighborhood of 3,900, 3,800 subscribers, and it's very well on the way to 4,000. So no problem there. And they also want channels to have 4,000 hours of watch time in the previous 12 months. And as a result of that, going into effect, I believe, on the 20th of February, which was yesterday, this means that many, many channels are no longer able to monetize video views. And, of course, this has got a lot of people screaming about that. And in a way, I understand it. And in another respect, well, it just isn't true. They're not trying to kill the channels. It's more like they're trying to save their own ability to make revenue at all. What with all of the events, I mean, we've got Adpocalypse, we've got Adpocalypse 2, Adpocalypse 3, and then certain high-profile vloggers, which, by the way, I had never heard of before this event, who showed something that he really shouldn't have showed, and made light of it, and apparently, and so on. Yeah. So YouTube is trying to raise the bar. And frankly, I don't blame them. I don't blame them a bit. I think the whole idea of opening up the YouTube partnership the way they did several years ago, hey, give me some feathers, was a mistake. I mean, back when I became a partner, you had to have some stuff going on. You had to meet some pretty high standards. Standards which, by the way, they never at that time actually revealed what they were. They didn't tell you what the requirements were. They just told you whether or not you were accepted when you applied. And that was another thing, too. You had to actually apply for partnership. And inevitably, without doubt, that application for partnership would be denied the first time up. That was a given. You knew you were going to get denied the first time out. And if you didn't know it, you weren't paying attention. I believe it was either 2 or 3 times that I had to apply before I was accepted. And yeah, you knew you were going to be denied. You just kept at it. You kept making videos. You kept trying to make the best content you could, and to do things like network with other YouTubers and, you know, just try to get an idea of what was going to work and do the best you can at whatever. Get over here, you. Cheap so-and-so. And so on. Anyway, with this recent development, my vlog channel is no longer able to monetize. And my reaction to that is not to scream about YouTube. Whoa! My reaction to that is apparently to walk off a cliff No. Another cheap bird. Anyway, no, my actual reaction to this situation is, well, it's kind of like something Wells Knight said in a recent video when talking about the subject, and people saying about how YouTube doesn't care about the small YouTuber and this and that and the other. And he summed it up very nicely. Welcome to YouTube. I think that was really very, very much the best way to sum that up. Welcome to YouTube. You know, you realize that the smaller channels are not as important to YouTube, and you work and you do your thing, and you work some more, and you do more of your thing, and you just put in the effort and the time. And if you are determined and consistent, sooner or later you will not be a teeny tiny little channel that they don't give two flips about. Of course, the definition of teeny tiny little channel can vary. And over time, basically, it's gotten to where in order to be considered a big channel, you have to be a whole lot huger now. Huger, is that a word? I'm sure it is. A whole lot more huge, a much bigger channel now to be considered huge than you did, say, 6 or 7 years ago when I became partner. You know, back then it was amazing, unheard of news that flashed all through YouTube when somebody reached 1 million subscribers. Now people with 1 million subscribers are almost a dime a dozen. And now you've got people with 15 and 20 or 30 million subscribers. And those are the ones that are on the top of the pack. And yeah. So you do what you can. You do the best you can. You do it consistently, constantly, and while keeping track of numbers and so on is a good thing. And it's a thing I think that is definitely necessary. You also don't want to obsess like crazy about it. So, in any event, how am I going to deal with this? Because like I said, my vlog channel, which these videos, these Journey to the FarLands episodes appear on, is going to be affected by that because, well, you do the math. 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, YouTube Analytics does track watch time, but they express it there in minutes. And well, so you take 4,000 hours and you multiply that times 60 to convert it into minutes. So 4,000 hours becomes 240,000 minutes. It sounds like a lot, but it is the watch time spread out over an entire year, over 12 months. And so, what is my current watch time on this channel? Right now, over the previous 12 months, I have about 160,000 minutes of watch time. Or was it 190,000? I think it is, yeah, 190,000, because I remember thinking that I was about 60,000 short of the requirement. And in figuring out what I'm going to do about that, well, I used some of YouTube's own tools. I went into analytics and I took a look at some of the best performing videos on this channel, the ones that get the most watch time over the last, say, 6 months. And what I'm finding is that videos like, oh, it's time to kill chickens. Need the feathers. You are cheap. Thank you for the feathers. You're cheap because you only had one. Anyway, so basically the idea was to look through my YouTube analytics and find out what videos are getting the best performance, which videos get the most watch time. And not too surprisingly, the videos on this channel that generally have the highest percentage of watch time is these Journey to the FarLands episodes. And so, yes, that does mean there's going to be more Journey to the FarLands on a more regular basis, which is something I've been wanting to do anyway. Because, yeah, you know, the one thing about growth is, oh boy, I don't like being at this altitude in the middle of the clouds. It's hard to see when you're stuck in there with your head in the clouds. Having your head in the clouds has always generally been not a great idea, you know? All right. Okay, let's see. Can I get down from this? Yes. There we go. Anyhow, so let's see, where was I? I distracted myself. I hate it when I do that. The whole thing with the consistency thing, I've known that to be a rule of YouTube for a long time. And as much as I've wanted to do it and be that way, I have been consistently failing at being consistent. How's that for consistency? Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, there's going to be more Journey to the FarLands and more regular vlogs in between those episodes. And I'm going to get consistent about doing daily videos. And I am going to reach a point where my watch time over the previous 12 months meets or exceeds the requirement of 240,000 minutes, and I'm going to get that back. Now, granted, this channel has never made a whole lot in the way of income from the partner program, and the low number of watch time minutes, and yes, 190,000 minutes is low. It's very low. You know, any channel with minutes that is not up to the 4,000 hours thing, that is less than 240,000 minutes, frankly, if you've got a channel with that number or less of watch time minutes, then you're probably not making very much at all from the partner program. And by that, I mean you could be in the neighborhood of $50 or $60 a year. I mean, you know, seriously. Now, the gaming channel has a different situation. Because with the gaming channel, I have been a lot more consistent about uploads. I have a new video up most days of the week. These videos are usually in the 20 to 30 minutes range and how long they are. And I get about the same percentage of people that watch the video, the same percentage of audience retention, that is, about 30 to 35% watch time or audience retention, which means that on average a video is what people watch about 30% of the video, on average. There's a bunch that watch all, and there's a bunch that watch a few seconds, you know, and the average of that is what the audience retention number is all about. Yeah. We'll just do this here. How about a slightly flatter surface? Yeah. There we go. And so about the same audience retention, about the same thing where on both channels, viewers generally watch, on average, about 30% of a video. Now there's some that watch all, there's a lot that watch a few minutes and click away, and then of course there's people that, well, you know, some people click on it by accident and then get away from it after 2 seconds when they realize they're not on the video they wanted to watch. And so on. But generally speaking, Journey to the FarLands has the best performance of all the videos I'm doing on this channel. And so that's the one that I'm going to focus on doing more of. Although I'm still also, shut up cow, going to continue focusing on also doing regular vlogs, because I know there's a lot of people that watch on this channel that are not interested in 30-minute videos. I understand that. But there you go. That's pretty much the plan. Instead of getting all upset and screaming about how YouTube is trying to kill my channel, I acknowledge the fact that YouTube is not trying to kill my channel. They're trying to save their own income. Because here's a news flash. YouTube has never really been hugely profitable. As a matter of fact, throughout most of its existence, YouTube has, for the most part, been a little bit better than break even. You know, they're profiting enough to break even and enough to pay everybody and all that. And yes, they're getting some profit out of it. And yes, that profit is measured in the millions. Perhaps even the hundreds of millions, I don't know. But next to the potential of a site like YouTube with all the videos, and imagine if every video was monetized, and honestly, they all are in one form or another. It's either people are part of the partner program getting a piece of that monetization, or they're not. And the majority of videos, I think, are not monetized, at least not in the way of where the uploader gets a share of it by way of a partner program. No. But, yeah, YouTube has never been a huge profit thing. I don't know if they're getting close to becoming that, but historically speaking, YouTube has never been a huge fountain of profit. And so they need to act to preserve whatever amount of profit they're getting, and to encourage advertisers to not just yank their stuff site-wide and say, we're done with you. You know, because that is not a recipe for success for anyone. And remember, without YouTube, there is no YouTube partner program. And yeah. So the plan of attack is to attack. It's basically just, let's get busy and start doing things. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get busy. I'm going to start doing my thing. And just be proactive about it. Be a pro and get active. You know? And that's what I'm going to do. Now, on the gaming channel, I don't have that problem, because the watch time minutes there over the last 12 months, I don't remember the exact number, but I did look it up this morning, and it was in the neighborhood of 2.5 million. Yeah. And I don't make very much off of that channel either. So if I'm not making very much off of the gaming channel that has many, many, many more times as the views and watch time minutes, then you know the vlog channel isn't doing very much at all. And of course, now it isn't doing anything. But that's okay. I consider that to be a temporary thing. It's going to change, and it's going to change for the better. And yeah. And in the doing of that, the Journey to the FarLands will be more consistent. It will be more successful. It will reach the point of meeting that fundraising goal for Child's Play charity so that we can do another Livestream of F3ness. I am very much looking forward to that. I really want to do that. And yeah, that's going to happen. And in the way of doing that, I'm going to make Journey to the FarLands a consistent thing that happens regularly, that people can count on and say, hey, it's such and such a day, there must be another Journey to the FarLands up. And so on. Even if I end up talking silly and rambling and whatnot a lot, I end up rambling quite frequently, I know that. But that's me, it's my own thing. And yeah. So I think that's the key thing of it right there. Is just be proactive. Be a pro and get active. Because, well, to paraphrase something, you could say that YouTube helps those that help themselves. Specifically, don't sit there and expect YouTube to wave some kind of a digital magic wand and just poof, you're a successful channel. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to make good videos, you have to upload consistently, and learn things about SEO for videos. Shut up, cow. Nobody wants to hear you, ever. And, yeah. And, you know, in spite of how long I've been on YouTube, I mean, I started making videos on this channel in like 2009 is when this channel was created. And I started vlogging, I believe, in November of 2009, and it grew, and I kept at it, and for a long time I was a heck of a lot more consistent than I am now, but that's going to change. And yeah, okay, let's see, what time is it here? It's in the middle, late-ish, afternoonish kind of thing. I think, let's see, I've got 8 feathers and no flint, so let's do something about getting some flint. And you get flint by putting down gravel and digging it back up. And sometimes, instead of getting gravel, some of it will be converted to flint. Sometimes it won't. Well, there's one. And I decided to do that here because there's terrain around here that looks good for possible end of the episode hidey hole. How are we doing here? 3 flint. Ooh. Minecraft is not exactly super generous with the flint. And then I get 3 pieces in a row. Wow. Okay. That's enough for now. And I think I'm just going to dig in right here. I love that music. It sounds Christmas music, you know? And that particular tune sounds very Christmassy. Okay. Got a light in here. And get it exposed to where it's going to do some good. And then get another one in here. And let's block the doorway. Get the rest of this thing cleared out. Yeah, so there we go. That's pretty much the size of things today. The whole changes to the YouTube Partner Program has been the big thing to talk about these days on YouTube. It's like everybody and their brother has got something to say about it. Let's see. Okay, that gets me up to a full stack plus 10 of arrows. Not bad. Okay. Let's see, let's get some boats. That should be enough. And some beds. Okay. Get out of there, you. Okay. Extra cobble can go away. There we go. All right, so another day, another episode, and we're that much closer to the FarLands, and yeah. And if all goes well, and I actually manage to do what I say I'm going to do, we'll be seeing more of each other in these videos. Well, figuratively speaking. In any event, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.